great to have baseball back? Gosh, I am so pleased. Welcome into Quality Start. It's RotoFanatic.com's video. We give you everything every day related to fantasy baseball. You want the inside edge? You want the scoop? You want to know what's up, don't you? Who doesn't? Everybody does. That's why the Quality Start's here Monday through Friday every morning to serve you. We got you covered from the A's and Angels at 3:40 Eastern up until Red Sox and Mets. The last of a 12-game slate for Monday. Mike Foltynewicz is going to be pitching after his demise in last year's playoff game against the Cardinals. I'm sure that he is very excited to get back on the hill and start fresh in 2020. We've got COVID updates. We've got a lot to be grateful for, and we got a lot to be thankful for. So glad baseball is here. And even though there are some swirling concerns about COVID, the first weekend generally went off without a hitch. And we're hoping for the same this week. So let's get into it. RotoFanatic.com's Quality Start starts now.
Let me ask you something. When you come in on Monday and you're not feeling real well, does anyone ever say to you, sounds like someone has a case of the Mondays?
No, man.
The Mondays can drag you down, but someone to aspire to, a moment of grandeur, can change everything. That's right, none other than Kyle Hendricks. He threw a complete game shutout, 103 pitches in 2020, in a shortened season, with chaos reigning everywhere. This was an impressive start from Hendricks. He had 9 Ks. 5 of those Ks came from the good old changeup. His changeup is one of his best pitches, and when it's working, woo, baby, watch out. Hendricks looks really good, but let's be cautious here. This could be a troublesome start for hitters, still trying to get their gauge on pitchers. So tread lightly, but be very optimistic.
The King of the North!
And yes, that makes Kyle Hendricks our King of the North of the day. All hail King Hendricks. 12 games on the schedule for Monday. The Blue Jays and the Nationals go head-to-head. Michael Fulmer, 2 years later, from Tommy John surgery, makes his long-awaited return to the MLB mound, although he will be used in more of a opener/multi-inning relief role, according to manager Ron Gardenhire. And the top pitching matchup of the day, according to me, Mike Foltynewicz versus Tyler Glasnow, the Braves and the Rays down in Tampa. That's going to be a great series. Strap it on. A lot of these starters are still making their debut, so I think it's important to be looking at their velocity. We are giving you their velocity from last season, so you have an idea of where they were at on average. As always, remember that this is still like spring training, so be cautious with low velocities. In Game 4 of the series between the A's and the Angels, Chris Bassett takes the bump against Griffin Canning, who had platelet-rich injections in his elbow a few months ago. He looked better, and in fact, he looked quite good in his exhibition start, going 6 innings. It's still early in the season. Remember, it's almost like spring training to these guys, so keep an eye on velocity, and if it's significantly down, that could be a red flag.
Only one may enter here, one whose worth lies far within the diamond in the rough.
This segment pays tribute to the players who maybe don't get the pub, but are certainly valuable players in your fantasy leagues. This is David Fletcher of the Angels. He could play multiple positions, and he went 4 for 4 on Sunday. That's really good. Normally, G-Man Choibet's left-handed, but he crushed this ball to deep left center field at an exit velocity of 109.9 miles per hour. Currently, Choi is only owned in 47% of NFBC leagues. A guy who's owned even less is Alex Cobb, who had an excellent start on Saturday against the Red Sox. He had no barrels on 15 batted ball events in that game. It was a limited performance, but still very promising for a guy who had fallen off the map the last 2 years. Phil Gosselin of the Phillies, the local favorite. They love him in Philly. Whee! Look at that ball fly out of here. He crushed that ball. He had 2 that he crushed in a victory over the Marlins on Saturday. He also played on Sunday, and he had a walk and a hit and 3 at-bats while scoring a run. if playing time could be more consistent for him, which is a big question mark, then Phil Gosselin could be someone to target, though this is very deep leagues only. Still, he is a diamond in the rough for sure. And the last diamond in the rough certainly is a diamond because he was a first-round draft pick in 2018. Brady Singer of the Royals, generally considered to be the number 2 prospect in their system. He generally baffled the Indians, who are an excellent offense overall. And this was not the first time he pitched at Progressive Field, as he had pitched in the Futures game during the All-Star game there first.
So the story of the weekend has got to be Matt Olson walking off with a grand slam. Grand salami. Right? No? Oh, okay. All right, geez. What about Edwin Diaz blows a save? Marcelo Ozuna with 2 outs? Ties the game. The Braves go on to win in extras? How about that? No. Okay, well, How about this? I got it. Daniel Bard gets his first victory since he last played in the majors in 2013. 7 years he's been out of the big leagues, and he came back, and he got the victory on Saturday. Isn't that amazing? He closed it out and got the W. I mean, talk about going out on your own terms. A lot of people would give up on that dream. 7 years out of the big leagues. He used to be with the Red Sox many moons ago. He was highly touted, too. He was going to be a starter and a reliever, and it just didn't work out, and injuries happened, and now here he is. With the Rockies beating the Texas Rangers, his buddy Wade Davis got to save for him to secure the W. And I got to say, that is definitely, without question, story of the weekend for me. Very, very cool. Good for him.
Bard was also hitting 99 on the gun. Look at that, blowing it by Rougned Odor. He looked really good, too. Think about this. If he continues throwing this hard and playing well, and if Wade Davis falters, with Scott Oberg on the IL, Bard could be next in line for saves. He could be number 2 on the depth chart. So that would make this story even better.
Put that coffee down. Coffee's for closers only.
Ken Giles had coffee, but now he does not. It's been taken away from him. He is going to have an MRI on his elbow. If you recall last year, he had a cranky elbow when he was on and off the disabled list, but was never shut down for the season. And he was still a pretty solid reliever. But his velocity on Friday was looking pretty good. But then there was a change. His velocity on Sunday dipped by a couple miles per hour. Obviously, we know he's hurt, but this is a reminder that velocity drops can be indicators of injury. So always keep an eye on that with other players. Trevor Gott is the man in California. San Francisco, to be specific. He had 2 saves against the Dodgers of all teams as the Giants split a 4-game series after getting rolled in the first 2. Kirby Yates blew the save on Sunday, giving up this sacrifice fly to Ketel Marte, and he's going to beat the throw. Yep, it gets cut off. So it's not the end of the world, but Yates blows his first save opportunity of the 2020 season. It happens to everybody. I wouldn't panic. And in a surprise to some fantasy owners, Wade Davis got 2 saves over the weekend against the Texas Rangers. A low-scoring affair overall for both offenses. This is good news for Wade Davis owners. He struggled a little bit in his first save opportunity, but had no problem in the second one on Sunday. Scott Oberg is on the DL and will not be available for a while still. So it looks like this job is Wade's to lose. And in the Pacific Northwest, Taylor Williams. Who? Yeah, this guy, Taylor Williams right here. He strikes out Alex Bregman to end the game with the tying run on second to preserve the save for the Mariners. Look at those Mariner fans go. Look at them. Man, this season is so weird. Most would assume that this is a one-game fluke, though it would have been expected that Matt McGill or Yoshihisa Hirano would have gotten the closing opportunity. But that is not the case. So keep an eye on this one.
He loves it. He loves it.
But that's not what I'm gonna do.
Here's a few of the fellas who let you down this weekend. Charlie Blackmon leads the way with 10 left on base. There was a lot left on base in that series at Texas overall. Jeff McNeil struggled in his opening weekend, but he'll do better. And Chris Davis, about what you'd expect.
And now it's time for my favorite segment of the show, This Day in Fantasy History. Woo! Applause. Grandiose. This is huge, big, yeah. All right. My favorite part of the show. It's my favorite part of the show because so many excellent, unique, and special moments happen in Major League Baseball every day. And in fantasy baseball, we're always looking forward to the next probable starter, the day. Everything's always looking forward. And in a short season like this, we get less opportunities and we're probably more appreciative of each day. But in the usual 162-game slog or grind, there's many, many days that go by, and it's hard to remember one day from the next. I don't blame anybody for not being able to keep track of it all. But in today's segment, for July 27th, 4 dudes took part in a unique moment, a very special moment for the Washington Nationals. And it only happened 3 years ago, 2017. Back then, the Nationals were only known for their playoff failures. Usually go to the NLDS and then they lose to the Dodgers or the Cardinals or whoever, right? But now they're the World Series champions. But back then, once upon a time in 2017, 4 guys did something very unique, and we're going to show it to you. Check this out.
On this day in 2017, yes, this is the one I was talking about. The Washington Nationals hit not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. Well, 4. 4 home runs in 1 inning in a row. A rare feat, not seen very often. So if you had Bryce Harper or Ryan Zimmerman on your fantasy team in 2017 on this date, then you had a hell of a fantasy day. In 2011, this was Irvin Santana's first victory for the Angels, and it was a no-hitter. Here's the fly out to Peter Burgos. Remember him? So if you had Irvin Santana on this day in 2011, you had a great day. A no-hitter will certainly help you out, especially if it's head-to-head. And finally, in 2009, Josh Willingham swings at a long drive to deep left center field way back, and this ball is gone. That's a grand salami. That's a pretty impressive feat. That's a nice day. It was his 15th home run of the season at that time. However, that wasn't his first grand slam. He hit another one. 2 grand slams in back-to-back innings in Milwaukee in 2009. A very special feat, 8 RBI. If you had Josh Willingham in 2009 on this day, you had a hell of a fantasy day. In closing, here's a friendly reminder. Check out our betting, our plan of attack DFS, Daily Fantasy. We're here to help. We have our rankings up there. We also have Jeff Zimmerman's latest piece. RotoFanatic.com. We teach you how to win.